Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from an email that was received by one of our admins. We will try to paste the email address also in the comment section if you do not want to communicate with us via the WhatsApp number. So this email, it is from one of our dear listeners. So she's saying that she always listens to our programs. She's from America, and the message that she sent to us, it reads like this: "You would not believe me if I told you, but it took me years to realize my mom was not just some regular woman. Yeah, she was Haitian. We lived in New Orleans. And I mean, you grow up hearing stories about voodoo, spirits, and hexes, but you never think that the stuff is happening in your own home until it is. It was not until I was about 12 that I started putting the pieces together. Wait, so you didn't always know? You might ask. No, I did not. I was just a kid. So my mom, she would cook, she would clean, and we would go to church like every other Sunday. But the thing is that my mom was not like other mothers. The house was very different. I always felt like I was never alone, and whenever I'll be home alone, I would always sit outside until I would wait for my mom to return back home, because when I'll be indoors, it always felt like there was someone that was with me, even though I knew that there was nobody else around. There were times when I would be in my room, I'll be playing with my dolls or doing homework, but then I would hear whispers. Sometimes you would hear these whispers as if there were people that would be speaking very low in hushed voices. At first, I thought that maybe it might be the wind, the TV, or something, or maybe just my imagination from watching a lot of horror movies. But no, the whispers, they started getting louder and louder. Sometimes I would even hear my name being called. You ever had like a chill run down your spine? So cold, it felt sometimes like ice. That was me all the times. Whenever I was home alone, even when I would go to bed, it would be like there would be someone that would be following me. Then there were things in the house. I would see shadows. I would see shadows move in places where they were not supposed to be. There was this other day when I was sitting alone, and then I saw a shadow that ran across the walls. I then called out to my mom. My mom came, and she was smelling of herbs. Always she was smelling of herbs. My mom, she then went to the place where I was showing her that this is where I saw a shadow. She then started lighting some incense, and she said, "Go to bed now, my child. Everything is going to be okay." Sometimes I would wake up and I would see that there would be a figure at the foot of my bed. It wasn't my mom, and it was not some dream, but it was real, too real. My room was always dark, but there was this thing, like a tall dark figure, that was always standing there as if it was always watching me. And like, did I ever say anything? No, I mean, who would believe me? And I was scared that people might think that I was weird and I was crazy. I didn't even believe in it half of the time. I just thought that maybe I was the one who was imagining things. Besides, my mom never would let me talk about things like that. Every time if I would try to bring it up, she would shut me down real quick, and she would be like, "Don't talk about things you do not understand," she would say. But the way that she would say it, you would even feel that her eyes, they were so cold and her voice so sharp. I knew better than to push. But then I found out about my dad. I never really knew my dad. I was told that my dad, he was into hustling drugs, and then he got shot down. And I was told that he left when I was really young, and my mom always told me he was not ready for a family. But one night, that was when I overheard my mom. She was talking to one of her friends. You know how Haitian women get, sitting around the table late at night drinking and gossiping. So I was supposed to sleep, but I heard every word. My mom said, "I want him." It was my mom. She was speaking with her voice so low. I heard every word that my mom said on that night. My mom was like, "I want him." And I told him that he was not supposed to leave us. He could not leave me. And when he tried, I made sure that he could not go far. Now he is stuck and cursed. And her friend just nodded like this was just a normal thing in the world. I remember lying there frozen in bed. My heart was pounding so hard. I thought that it was gonna burst out of my chest. My mom, my sweet church going mom, was the reason my dad was gone. She cursed him, and I didn't understand it back then, but I knew that something was not right. It was not normal. And yes, my mom, she was practicing this thing that they call voodoo. Yeah, voodoo, Haitian voodoo. I didn't know how deep it went until I got older. But that night, that was when I realized that my mom was more than what she seemed. I started to pay attention after that. My mom had a room in the back of the house that was always locked. I would see her going there late at night, and sometimes I would hear her chanting, but not in English, and it was not French. It was something that was much more darker. One day, she left the door open, just a crack, and I could not help it. I had to look inside. There were candles that were burning, but not like the ones at church. They were dark, twisted, with black smoke rising from them, and there were bowls that were filled with things that I could not even recognize. Your bones, your feathers, your powders, and on the wall there was this other, a giant verve, a symbol of Papa Legba, the Lord who opens the gate between the living and the spirits. And that was when I knew my mom was not just into voodoo. My mom, she was also a queen. She had the power, the real power, the kind that you do not mess with. As I got older, I started seeing things more clearly. I would notice the way that people would avoid my mom on the street, how they would whisper behind her back, and no one ever said it to her face. No one even dared. My mom could smile at you 1 minute and curse you with the same breath. And those spirits, they were just in my head. No, they were. And those spirits, they were not just in my head, they were real as well. There were nights when I could not fall asleep because I would feel something pressing down on my chest like it was trying to suffocate me. I would wake up gasping for air, and there would be no one there, but I knew that it was one of my mom's spirits that were watching me. Then there were times when I'll be in the shower, and sometimes when I would look into the mirror, when I would turn around, I would feel as if there would be someone that would be watching me. Until the time when I said enough was enough, it was far much better for me to confront my own mother. It was not easy when I confronted my mother, but I ended up doing just that. And my mom then told me that indeed the reason as to why I grew up without a father, it was because of him. She said that my dad was seeing another woman at that time, and then my mom got jealous because my father wanted to walk away from the marriage. That was when my mom went to this other elderly woman who was also from Haiti, and then they did those spells, and then they cursed my father.